Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video, we are talking about Cursor. I did a previous video highlighting some of the functionality such as code complete and chat, but in today's video, we will be focusing on the composer. So Cursor Composer is an agent that helps you write code end to end. It could search your code base and create or update your functionality based on what you need it to do. So without further ado, we'll just jump into the demo to create a LWC on a new landing page. Before I started recording this video, I was playing around with it and we created this homepage with this custom header. It has one LWC that has a lightning record picker, so a lookup field, and we can search by account or contact. So if I type in OpenAI, it should be all my contacts that are on the OpenAI account. When I select an account, it pulls up the related Wikipedia page in an iframe. So just to demo this one more time, if we type in Anthropic and select Dario, his Wikipedia page comes up. So far, I just have a blank app page. I created a remote site, and I found a free API for currency exchange rates. So the idea is we will build a LWC here where the user could select a currency code and it'll show you the currency exchange rate for the top 20 currencies or so. I tested this in Postman. So if we use this endpoint, specify USD, this is what our payload our response will look like. It gives us the date it was last updated, as well as all the rates based on USD. So let's get started. So in Cursor, so again, if you didn't watch my first video, feel free to watch it and we can go, you can go ahead and figure out how to set it up. It's very easy, you just download it. It imports all your extensions, Salesforce CLI, so the setup time is very, very quickly. I pulled back the Lightning page we just went over, as well as the remote site, and I created a text file with the endpoint and the response, just so I could reference it in Composer, and it'll know what the data looks like to be able to create this. So let's go ahead and prompt it. So let's say we would like a new LWC called, we don't need to give it a name. Exchange rates. So I will say, Composer works well when you break down the requirements in short, concise requirements. If you give it too much data, sometimes it gets confused. I'm sure you guys experienced this when you're playing around with Claude or ChatGPT. If you give it a paragraph of stuff, it gets confused and only does the first few points. So I found it very helpful to parse out your requirements chunk by chunk. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm telling it to create me an LWC. The LWC's idea is going to be to display a table of exchange rates. I'm also asking it to use mock data to start and make sure the currency code and value headers are sortable. And then I'll tell it to please apply it to, if you want to select the file, just press at, you can go into files, see all your files. So we are adding it to the currency rate flexi page. And let's see what it does. So it's going ahead and creating my LWC. It looks like it's creating some mock data. So we have Lightning data table, doing all the sort logic that comes with Lightning data table, created the XML file, and in the JavaScript, it's adding the mock data, the sort functionality. So that all looks good. Now it's probably wanting to add it to my page as well. Great, this looks all good. So we'll accept all. First, we'll have to save the LWC. And we'll save the page. Great. So if you've worked with Flexi pages or Lightning Record pages, they are cached. So sometimes it takes a second to for your LWC to show up. So I'm hoping we won't have issues here. Okay, let's refresh one more time. Okay, let's see if it added it to the page. So edit page. It is there, so it should be just a cache issue. Okay, it's not showing. So, all right. Just letting you know, my table is not showing on the page. When I edit page. So I'm saying my LWC is not showing on the page. When I edit the page, it's there. Like, why could this be? So now it's going to fix my XML for my LWC. Make sure that's all correct. It looks correct off the bat. Let's redeploy and see what happens. Looks like reapply above. So it looks like something stopped the process, so it didn't apply this, but I don't think we're going to need most of this stuff. Because it's adding targets for community pages. We really don't need that. This is just a Lightning app page. I want to say this is a caching issue. But it's still not there. So if we add a page, you can see the LWC here. So everything should be set up correctly. There we go. So we do have our currency codes. They're sortable. Our rates are sortable as well. Okay, let's start adding some more functionality. Okay, I'm letting you know, add a picklist field or a combo box with the values found in the text file, the currency API text file from the payload. So it's going ahead and doing that right now. Let's take a look. So get currency options. It added a few. And it looks like it didn't add all of them, so I went ahead and asked it to add all of them. So it's going ahead and doing that right now. And obviously, if the requirements were just like showing me the top 10 currencies, we wouldn't have to add all of them. But just for demo purposes, let's go ahead and add all of them. There was quite a few. Okay, now it's added all of them. Let's accept, and we'll deploy the LWC. Great, and let's go take a look how this looks. Okay, so we have it. Great. Select new ones. Perfect. So I don't like how long this is. Let's style this to make the pick list a little shorter. So we'll go back. I just let it know that the combo box stretches the width of the table. I don't like this. Could you style this better? And we'll see what it comes up with. So it added some CSS classes. We'll deploy this, and then we'll start working on the callout. That deployed. Okay, it's still long. That's okay. We'll leave this for now. We'll get it updated here in a few minutes. Let's start working on the callout. Okay, so I just told it that I need an Apex REST callout. Told it to review the currency API text file to get the structure of the data. Also told it on change of the combo box or the picklist field, I'll go ahead and refresh the data based on that currency code. And I told it I already have a remote site created, so it doesn't have to create that for me. Great, so it looks like everything's done. So we'll accept everything. We will deploy the LWC. First, we have to deploy the Apex class. So we have our Apex class, have our ape endpoint. This all looks good to me. The Apex class does have a metadata file. Sometimes it forgets to create the metadata file and you can't deploy it. So I'm glad it's learning. We'll go ahead and deploy this. And so it has, now it's styled it, so maybe it just didn't save the first time. This looks good to me, so let's format. Let's sort by smallest to largest, largest to smallest. This looks good. Polish Zloty 397, that looks correct. Cool. Let's do one more change. In the response, we do get the updated date, so let's add the updated date, like somewhere right here, in the running user's time zone. So I'm letting you know in the response, we have a last updated time, but it's in UTC time. please display this on the page in the running user's time zone. Please use the user info class to get this. So this is one thing I would like to mention. I feel like Cursor, especially like Composer, will really speed up development for developers who have a lot of experience, senior developers, even mid-level developers, and they know what they want. They know all these Salesforce functions. They could specify like, hey, we want to use X in this functionality. That's not to be said that for junior developers, it'll still be very helpful, but there might be a bigger learning curve to know what's out there, know what assets you have exposure to. So let's go ahead and send this and see what it comes up with. So it's updating the class, or it's writing the code before it applies it. So we have currency. Okay, it went ahead and updated the Apex. It created a wrapper class for us for the response and the last updated date. And it updated the LWC as well. So let's go ahead and save the Apex class. Then we will deploy the LWC. Go ahead and refresh. So loading currency undefined. So it's breaking on that wrapper. So let's go ahead and tell it that. Let me get the exact error. So I'm telling it this is now breaking. It was working before the last changes. The error I'm seeing is error loading currency rates undefined. I think this is due to the wrappers you added. Do we need this for the date? So it says, you're right, let's simplify it. We can handle the data conversion without the wrapper class. Here's a simplified version. And I'm asking it, since you updated the Apex class, does the LWC need to be updated? And says, yes, let's update the LWC. So it's going to go ahead and do that now for us. And we will just make sure this is deployed, make sure the LWC is deployed. Oops. I am click happy today. Let's close out of that for now. Okay, everything's deployed. We'll go ahead and hard refresh. It's still giving us an error. I'm telling it I'm still seeing that same error. Should we debug this to figure out what the issue is? It will go ahead and create some debug records, debug logs in Apex, and I'm sure we'll do the same for JavaScript. So let's debug this. Deploy. Let's go ahead and go here. We'll open up our dev console. We will hard refresh again. And we'll let it know this is the error we're getting. And that is because, let's take a look how it's displaying that date. Last updated, if true, last updated date. Look at the JavaScript. Okay, okay, let's take a look at this, and we will go ahead and take a look at the logs in Apex as well if this is still not working. Okay. So let's refresh. Okay, this is our log that we just got from that error. And it's saying stack trace 35 good currency rate. Let's take a look at that. Okay, I'm letting it know what line it's breaking on. I'm asking it to make sure it's using user info.get time zone and converting it to the correct time zone. That's what it is. I don't think that exists, so that's the issue. Okay. Let's take a look at what happens now. Date fields. I never thought I was going to have this many issues with that date field. There we go. And you can see it was updated on the 18th, which is yesterday at 4:02 p.m. Let's go ahead. And one thing I've noticed with Cursor, it's really good with screenshots. So I'm going to send it the screenshot and tell it that I don't like the formatting. Please put the date in the right corner. And it's going to go ahead and update the HTML for me. Let's take a look. So column 2 of 3, text line right. That all looks good to me. One thing we didn't cover in the last video is cursor rules. You could have rules for AI or project rules. You could set those up by going to settings. My rules for AI is always use Salesforce best practices, and then I have rules based on some topics. So you could have one rule here to, like, when you're working on LWCs, like make sure you use SLDS classes from Lighting Design Systems, stuff like that. And it will incorporate those as it's working on your code. So let's take a look at that. And put it in the right corner for us. Great. So now if we want to say, let's do euros, and we could sort by currency code, we could sort by value. Let's go back to currency code. We'll go to USD and 1.05 to €1. And that is the correct rate. Awesome. Well, that's our video for today. If you would like more videos about AI or Cursor or anything Salesforce related, please feel free to let me know. I've used Cursor extensively for the last several months. Really enjoy it. It really speeds up development. Probably 20x, if not 50x, is my productivity. Like you saw in this video, we created a LWC with a REST callout and a combo box in a matter of minutes. This could have taken, a few hours for a regular developer to do, or at least an hour or two, figuring out different issues, reading documentation, and so forth. So it really speeds up productivity and development. I will add one more thing. One of my favorite things to do is summarize documentation. So if there is documentation based off of a specific product, cloud, whatever, I just give it a link and tell it to summarize it for me and tell me all the main topics. So you can use that, or you can find different things in your documentation, or just document your code. If we go in and told it to put method headers or explain what this code is doing, so it could really help you understand the logic you are working on. Great, that's all I have for today. Looking forward to hearing what you guys think. Have a great day.